Hi, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to Academic Phoenix Plus. My name is Monica, and I'm here to introduce you to a very talented artist, Brendan. And he is not only a Riot animator, but he also teaches animation. So we're going to be talking about this really cool website that he's working on. Uh, um, I know. Don't worry.
It is
I
an
edit like no
online
two
learning animation platform.
an online animation platform that he actually teaches in, and we're going to introduce you. Now, the reason why I'm showing you guys this is because I am not an animator. I'm a modeler, texture artist, renderer. I can do everything, but animation is definitely one of my weakest points. So Brandon's going to be here to give us some tips and also talk more about animation flow. But first, let's talk to Brandon and talk a little bit about him and his background. Can you introduce yourself really fast?
Yeah, hi, my name is Brendan. I'm an animator currently at Riot Games. I've been there for about 4 years. And before that, I was a previous layout artist for Marvel and Star Wars. And prior to that, I was at Disney Junior, and I've done a little bit of everything. And now, aside from doing animation as a full-time job, I'm also teaching because I got a lot of thoughts in my brain that I'd like to kind of get out into the world. So looking for opportunities to do that.
Awesome. So you started off you went to college, and
Yep.
then that's where we met. And then
Yep.
you went to Disney Interactive. How did you make that jump from being a student to Disney Interactive?
So there's a couple places in between there. So as soon as I graduated college, I actually went back to South America, where I'm from, and I actually found a pretty big community over there of people that were kind of doing 3D shorts and um, film stuff. So I did that for about 3 years, and then that gave me a little bit of portfolio to come in and do a little bit of freelance in Los Angeles. So a friend who graduated college with me moved out to Los Angeles, said there was plenty of work. So I kind of came to Los Angeles, and he would pitch me the freelance that was surplus to him. So he would have too much work, and then I would pick up the work for him. And that built my portfolio to apply for my first kind of studio gig that was Way Forward Interactive. And they're kind of a medium-sized indie company, and they have a bunch of Nintendo um, IPs under their belt, and it was really fun to work at. And then through an agency, I got my job at Disney Interactive. So that was through somebody else. They found a position, and I apparently was a good fit. And I was there for about 2.5 years.
Can I
And then yeah, go ahead.
can I talk to you about the agency? Like, is that
Yeah.
somebody that you reached out to, or they reached out to you? Like, how do you know they were legit?
So usually I found 100% of my jobs through applying through places like either LinkedIn or Indeed or the actual website. Like I've never kind of gotten backdoored into somewhere. So while I was at Way Forward, jobs were kind of the projects were slimming down. So there was rumors that there were going to be cuts to the department. So everybody sort of started to apply elsewhere, kind of buff up their portfolio. So I started applying absolutely everywhere, and I applied to this place, which I thought was a studio, because it said, "Oh, we offer, there's positions for animation, this, that, and the other." And it turns out that they were not a studio; they were a talent agency. Um, and it was kind of interesting. They're just a place where they have a bunch of connections to bigger places, and they're just like a talent management. Big companies often use them because they don't want to take care of like insurance and take care of medical benefits and stuff like that. So
Right.
they use third parties just to kind of take care of the stuff for contractors. So through them, I did 1 year of contracting at Disney. So they found me the job because it was listed, and then my skill set kind of fit through there. And then after my contract ended, Disney liked me, so they decided to kind of keep me on board there as an employee, not as a contractor. So I was transferred over from being a contractor. So I was no longer with the agency. Then I was just there with Disney directly. Yeah.
Nice. All right. That's actually interesting. I've heard so many scams. I'm always really worried that somebody's like gonna scam my students. So,
Yeah. Well, like it was kind of like, why not? Like at the end of the day, if they didn't fire me, if I didn't get let go, like I'd still have the job that I was at. And actually, I didn't get let go. So there was five of us in that department at Way Forward, and they let go of three, and they called me into a room, and they were like, "Oh, we got to keep somebody to tank the work, so we can't promise a lot, but like we really like you, so we're gonna keep you." was like, okay, well, thank you very much. The next day was the interview with
Uh,
Disney, and I was like, well, I mean, like it's already slated, it's Disney, like why not? And then so I went there in the morning, did the interview, and then on my way back to work, they called me. It's like, okay, when can you start? And then
oh, wow.
I was like, oh, I guess 2 weeks from now. And I just kind of went there and gave my 2 weeks notice that after they had vouched for me to keep me. So it did feel kind of weird, but
You
it
know
was
what?
legit because
The
yeah,
answer is always yes. Just, yes to the job, especially such a
yeah,
good, yeah. So
yeah.
it's the way it is sometimes. But
I was also double the salary, so it was kind
oh,
of a
okay, it's not that double yes.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So how long did you work for Disney Interactive?
So I was there for a total of 2.5 years. So 1 year
Yep.
contractor and a year and a half of being a full time employee there. Yeah.
And then from there, you went and jumped into Riot,
No, from there I went to a company called The Third Floor,
oh
and they
yeah,
do
third floor.
previs
Mhm.
for places like Marvel and Star Wars and a bunch of other places as well. But all the projects that I worked on was Marvel and Star Wars, so that's where I was at, and I was there for 2 years as well. Yeah.
And then, and
And
then the
then
next page or the
no,
next
that was a
chapter.
really fun job actually. So it was interesting because Disney, being part of Disney Interactive, the project that I was on was a little bit slower paced. So I was pretty hungry for like, more challenging work. So third floor was definitely way more challenging. We worked a ton, and at the beginning, I really loved it. Like it was just really good to just I was learning so much, and it was great. But you could see after a while that it's like, okay, this rhythm is pretty intense. Like after a year, you're like, oh man, it's a lot of work
Do you have to
to
do?
put in.
My understanding is that you have to do almost all the work, right? The animation, the backgrounds, the effects. Is that true, or do you just
So I
focus on
was a, I
animation?
was I was a previs artist, so they have
Mhm.
asset artists that do all the modeling
Mhm.
and textures and stuff. And then they have yeah the previs people. Usually what happens is, depending on the film that they're making, like they could go out if it's something very accurate, they'll go out and they'll shoot a lidar of something, so you'll have like a scan of the set, and then somebody will like down res it, and then you put the cameras and the characters where you think they should be for the shots, and that's what they'll use as a map to
Mhm.
film the films. So you need to kind of time stuff out. There's a little bit of like, mocap that you could do to just kind of like simulate what the acting is going to be. And you kind of do the movie at a very low budget.
Okay.
Um, but it's pretty intense. You got to do a ton of shots a day, and then they just want volume, right? So they just want to make sure that's like, hey, the director is like, is this what you think you want? And usually the answer is like, oh, kinda, and then you'll kind of have to do it again and again. So it's just like very fast paced work. Um,
Hmm.
and it's interesting because you watch the movies and there is your shots in there at the end, just like it looks different, but it's what you did.
Cool.
And everybody else is getting the credit for it, of course, but like you're the one doing the
Yep.
shots.
I did that. That camera is
Yeah,
there
it's
because of
great.
me.
Yeah, pretty much. But I just started fishing around for other places just because I wanted to do something a little bit more refined. Like I feel that like I just wanted to spend more time on the work that I was doing. But the cool thing is that I like the job, so it wasn't that I feel pressure to grab anything. So I just started like, okay, what are the top, 6 or 7 places that I would like to go? And then anytime that they had an opening, I would kind of, you know, apply and stuff. And I did quite a few interviews for places that kind of didn't pan out. But I think that prepared me as well for when I went into Riot, because I'd done quite a bit of interviews with bigger companies, and they're all kind of the same. They just want to know, if you're a good fit for the team. And apparently I was for Valorant, where I'm at right now, and I really like it. Like the whole team's awesome. I think they do a great job at hiring. Not necessarily like everybody's super talented, of course, but like it just feels like a cohesive team. It's very fun to be around. That's pretty cool. So I was very happy to go to a place that did a little bit more refined work. So that one I did not feel bad of putting my 2 week notice in.
So you went from third floor to Riot, and how long have you been at Riot?
4 years. 4
4
years.
years now. Okay, so you're definitely happy there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about your new adventure, which is Animation Flow. Your instructor there.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So, business partner Alex Ferreira, he created Animation Flow while he was at DreamWorks. So he just loves teaching as well. And I've always kind of been interested in the space. So when I found out that he had an online animation platform, just to teach, then I asked if he was interested, and he was definitely looking for more people. So now I'm with him as well, side gig teaching for Animation Flow.
That's awesome. And what inspired you to start this, or not start, but join the online academy? And it seems to focus on both 2D and 3D animation. Is that correct?
Mostly 3D.
Mostly.
Actually, I think we're looking for somebody to teach 2D. So if you're a 2D instructor, hit us up. But no, all 3D for now. I was just really impressed with all the work that, like Alex and his team had done. So they have like all their own rigs. They have the entire platform. Everything seems like our mission is kind of aligned because, schooling is expensive, and I spent a lot of money going to school. And the more courses that I took outside of school, like you just need to supplement, and everything's pretty pricey. So I went to like iAnimate while I was at Disney, and then I did a bit more of that while I was at the third floor when I was feeling a little bit stuck. So when COVID rolled around, it's like, okay, well, the commuting hours are um now it's 2.5 hours a day that I have back, so
Ooh,
might as well invest it into
good for you.
into um
That was smart.
into some courses. So I did that, and I like that dynamic. I just feel that it's like pretty expensive. So I really like Alex's, mentality of, hey, it's a subscription model, so all the courses are just kind of already there, and as long as you're actively subscribed, you can watch as much or as little as you want. It's like Netflix, but for learning animation. So
Nice.
I just really like that, and I was interested in recording just for myself, just as an exercise, recording lessons. So Alex just offered, and I just jumped on board, and then we've been kind of traveling around trying to promote their website, and that's been a lot of fun. And it's just a nice project, and I really believe in it. So it's pretty cool.
I think you're right. I think because I've been teaching animation for a long time, not animation games and everything, but I feel like students have to take these extra animation classes to supplement because there's so much nuances and there's just not enough time in, I guess, in school, and these classes are just exactly what students need. So I'm going to share my screen really fast, and I love your website, I have to say. It starts off with this. Now, this character, you're wearing a shirt with this character. Can you tell us a little bit about
Miara.
her? Like, who is she? Look at this
Oh, she's
website.
great.
Woo!
So that's one of our
Oh,
feature film characters. That's Miara. And if you are a subscriber to the website, you can get her and play around with her and do some shots. If you scroll down, actually, there's some really cool student examples in the bottom. So here are all the rigs that we currently have. We're actually working on a bunch
wow.
more
Wow.
that are coming out. So those are all the characters that we currently have clickable in the website, but really, we actually have a few more. They're just kind of getting vetted. We really try to make sure that everything is kind of tip top and do a couple of test rounds before we release them. Um, so if you scroll there and kind of play any of those with Miara, you can see some examples of students that have used her in shots. So she's really versatile, and she's pretty cool to render. She has a whole fur system, some stuff dynamic, which is really great. It's really expressive. Yeah, she's great. I love animating with her.
She's amazing. Now it says she's got fur. She's got, is the hair rigged too? The
The
whiskers
hair
and
is
everything's
totally
controllable?
rigged.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yes. The hair's rigged. You can also turn some dynamics on and off, but like we suggest you animate just to make sure you understand how the overlap works, but you can definitely turn some simulations on. And then she also has some pretty cool cartoony features. So she's kind of inspired on Bad Guys movie, and that had a lot of kind of 2D drawn on top. So she has cool little controllers that you can shape expressions and stuff that look kind of hand drawn, but they're
Wow.
they're not. They're all 3D, and that's just kind of modeled into the character. So she's pretty cool to animate.
That's amazing. Who rigged it? Or who rigged her?
Our riggers. So we have a couple of people that just kind of work with us and are really good. Um, the animation flow team.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Cool. So you'll
that
get
character.
access to all of these. That's amazing.
Yeah. And some you can also choose your own character. So that's not one of ours. It's a popular character on the internet. But if that's something that you want feedback on and to work with, whatever you want to animate, we are here to help you kind of do that. So our rigs are awesome, but if you have your own or you find something else, we totally fine as well. A lot of these games, so this is Astoria. Astoria is game ready, so you can stick her in a game engine after you're done animating her. So that's actually recorded from Unreal. So we also teach,
Oh,
how to get something from Maya into the game engine ready. So that's something else that we offer on the website as well.
it's awesome. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Your classes are kind of tailored to beginners. So I did see one that's called Basics of Maya for Animators.
Hmm.
Um, can you tell us a
Here,
little bit about that? Like, you want me
yeah.
to stop sharing?
No, let me give you another link. So actually,
Yep.
right now, at the beginning of August, we are going to start some live classes. So if you go to class.animationflow.com, we're offering 3 classes. This is the one that I'm offering. So this one's the absolute bare basics of Maya. So if you've never used Maya for animation, I'm going to grab your hand and take you through how to go through the principles of animation. There are kind of 8 courses and they're pretty short. So since this is the first time that you will be using Maya, I'll be there while you do the assignment in the first half of the class. And then as the class gets a little bit more complicated and as you get more familiar with the software, then I'll just kind of let you on your own and then we'll give you recorded feedback on all your classes and make sure that you're doing something that you just getting you on the right track to take a little bit more of the advanced classes.
That's great. So if you don't know how to animate at all, this would be a great start. Or actually, if you want to go back to the basics, because everything's about that bouncing ball. I mean, I've taken animation. My master's was in animation, but I didn't become an animator. But I do remember that everything's the bouncy ball, right? So when you jump, it's the
Yeah,
bouncy ball.
definitely. Yeah, everything's about timing and spacing. So those are the first 2 things that we're kind of go through, and that'll be prevalent through all the lessons. And there's always, some technical hurdles to go over. So there's always, what buttons do I click, but also the art side of things. What is something? Why are we clicking the thing? So we'll start with a bunch of the technical stuff, and we'll teach a little bit of what makes animation special. This obviously over time. And then afterwards, we'll just go a little bit more into the artsy stuff. So we'll go into posing with a full body character. And then after that, you'll be ready to take any of the other courses that are offered at Animation Flow.
That's
And
awesome.
since this is the intro course, usually we do a condensed, like a closed class limit. And since this is the introduction, we're trying to keep it as affordable as possible, and it's open enrollment, so we can support as many students as that want to come. And the class is only $80, so it's $10 per
Oh,
class,
well,
which is a steal.
yes.
And that'll just include, me going through the basics and just walking you through what uh, what it is that you need to succeed in the later classes.
So this is really fun. So you are going to have this live so you can give feedback and everything like that.
Mhm.
Afterwards, do they still have access to those videos?
Yeah, yes, of
Yep.
course. So the videos are recorded here, and I'm essentially gonna be live redoing the videos, but now they're live with me and you in the same classroom together, and you'll watch me go through the entire process. And then for the first few, since they're pretty easy exercises, in the hour of class, you'll be doing it there with me, and then I'll be there to troubleshoot anything that comes up, which
That's
is
the Yeah.
expected since it's the first time using the software.
Well, that's really great because the feedback is really valuable. Like you can practice as much as you want, but if no one's actually giving you feedback, that's going to be really helpful.
Yeah,
So what about those people that can't, attend? I know that you have other courses available that are already pre-recorded. Oops, sorry.
100%. So the website is so if you go to the other side of the website over to your left.
Pisa?
So no, just the one that you were at before. Yeah. So if you go to courses up there, so that one there, the Anim 101 Intro to Maya, that is the course
Ah,
that that's the one that's live. So that one's the one that I'm teaching. And then after that, you would kind of roll into the basics foundation. So there you would be with an actual character and you would learn, you know, a little bit more in depth about timing and spacing, but and posing, what makes things, anticipation, all the principles of animation, just the strong foundation basics. And then you could either go into the game fundamentals track, and there you would do things like runs, attacks, idles, stuff like that are more relevant to games. And or you could go into the feature track, which is the Aniflow feature track over there, and you would start with your body mechanics, stuff like that. And then those would you could render yourself and put them as a film more feature focused. Also, I also teach a first person animation shooter course. So that one's also recorded. And all of this is if you have subscription to the website, you can just access those courses and take them at your leisure. Every course has an assignment. So after you do an assignment, you would get graded and one paragraph critique per assignment that you submit. So you are getting feedback regardless. So if you're a subscriber, you also get a little piece of feedback through the website. And
let's
then
highlight the fact that this is feedback from an industry professional. Okay,
yeah,
everybody, it's not like Joe Schmo. These are people that are actually in the industry working right now, and they would love to give you some feedback. That's pretty amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're trying to spread as much good knowledge as possible because yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you could probably look online, but we're trying to make it, a legit place to learn.
That's awesome. So AF is the film, and GF stands for the game tracks. Is that what that
Yep,
means? Yes.
yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
Nice. All right, you guys have a lot of content here. That's fantastic.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Also,
Should I go to upcoming classes?
yeah. So the upcoming classes. Oh, so let me give you a couple links. So the animation 101 is if you have not done anything related to animation, or you've done it way in the past and you just need a bit refresher of the absolute basics. But also at the same time, we're offering a games class. So Alex will be teaching that.
Oh,
So
there's
this is
Mel.
just a game fundamental one. Yeah, so Alex animated Mel on League. Um, so over here, you'll just kind of go through how to do, you know, um,
Ah,
gameplay animation, idles, and then polishing your stuff, and how to do a walk cycle, and then finally how to stick stuff in engine so that once you start clicking around the engine, your animations start playing, which is pretty cool.
I think that's what I need. I need help with how to plug it into the engine. That's awesome.
Well, you can take our
Actually,
course
I'm
at
gonna need to.
class.animationflow.com. And then also we have an amazing animator, Donald Chang. So I put a third
Oh,
link there. So
yes.
this is for people that are way more advanced.
Oh,
So Donald was at Pixar for a while and also at Sony, and he's great. So this is like for the people that are way more advanced that want help with their acting. Donald's just great. So he's a
oh my
excellent
goodness.
addition to the team here. So he's going to be teaching this one as well. He has actually not a lot of spots left on his class. So
Mm.
if you're interested in learning with Donald, I would go ahead and sign up
That,
ASAP.
wow. So he's worked also in Spider-Verse. That's amazing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's great. Man, if I was an animator, I'd I'd jump into this for sure. Ah, that's amazing. Very cool. You guys have some really incredible talent.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we've worked pretty hard and like kind of going out there, spreading the word and trying to network with people, and it's paying off. It's paying off. It's pretty cool.
It's incredible. It looks like you're using some industry standard tools. So I saw Maya, I saw Unreal.
Yep.
Do you teach any other software?
So currently, Mayan Unreal is it's what the class is going to be taught at, but a few of our rigs are compatible with Blender as well. So if you do know Blender and you want to use Blender and follow along, animation is animation at the end of the day. So
Hmm.
you can feel free to to follow along in Blender as well. But we'll be teaching in just Maya and Unreal. So those are the ones that are going to be teaching. Maya has a cool indie license thing that has been going on for a few years. So they're just trying to make their software more accessible as well. So it's not that steep of a price for a year. I think it's like something like $250 a year or something like that. So I know that Maya, before you need to be enrolled in a big um, institution to get a discount on it, but lately that's not the case anymore. And Unreal is free. So if you're just using it for your own benefit, then it's free to use. So that's yeah.
Yes, I'm just gonna plug that into that. If you want to get the Autodesk Indie, it is with a price. But if you join, like, let's say, a community college, because I work at a community college or a university, which I also work at a university in America, I can only speak to America. You can get, if you have like a .edu, you can get Autodesk Maya for free in the educational license. So you can get Maya for free if you're in a school, or you can also pay the Indie license, and Unreal is free. But yeah, so that's how you can get access to this software.
Yeah.
That's great. So you offer live classes, course offerings, and do you have any partnerships? Like, do you work with other organizations out there?
Yes, we're currently coming up with an awesome partnership that's coming in the horizon. I'm gonna let Alex kind of announce that whenever we're ready. So
Okay,
exciting
so
news is on the horizon, but
more to come.
TBD. We're kind of partner. We have a lot of discount codes linked back to other instructors. So we have one with Animation Sherpa, which is more of a tech um, tailored animation school. So that's Richard Light. So we're kind of partnered up with him just to make sure that, like everybody's getting visibility. But as a partner, big partnerships for now, we're just kind of by ourselves for the minute. But exciting news is on the horizon.
Exactly. That sounds really great. Any other things you want to plug before we wrap this up?
No, just make sure to check out the website. And if you were to come from this podcast, if you use code Phoenix and all caps, you'll get a 15% discount on subscriptions. So that is for anybody who looks at finds us through you. So
Wow.
yeah.
Phoenix. Oh, nice. Very nice. 15% discount. There you go, everybody. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Of course. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to, if anybody has a question for you or to Animation Flow, how can they contact you?
So the best way to contact any of us is by joining the Discord. So I'll drop a link to the Discord here on your chat. How do I do this? I'm a professional.
Does it come with a QR code? Because sometimes I can log in with like a QR code. Maybe that's the intro.
I don't know, but I'll post this link, and then maybe you can link it into
see where it
the
goes.
video.
There you go. So I will post the link. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I will post that link in the description below, and then you guys can jump in and you can be part of the Discord server. So if you guys have any questions to Brendan or any of the awesome instructors about Animation Flow or anything, this is a great avenue. So
yeah. And it's a great place too. Like, we just have a lot of people that are just community driven that are giving feedback to each other, people that are posting resources, cool rigs that they found, just general hangouts and stuff at the Discord. It's pretty cool. We're there fairly often. At least once a day, we're just kind of checking it out. And any announcements of upcoming stuff that's your first place to go and kind of find out about it. It's got to be the Discord.
Awesome. Ooh, look at all the cool stuff. Very nice. All right. I'm going to stop sharing there before I show everything. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Don't forget to like and subscribe so I can make sure this message gets sent out to everybody. And Brendan, thank you so much for being here. I think you're doing incredible things. I think this will help a lot of people out there. And I really hope that this message, gets to as many animators as possible. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.